أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we've been talking about thinking, contemplating, reflecting, making sure we know what we're doing before we do it. So maybe this question has also come to your mind sometimes. I get asked about it pretty frequently. People say, look, there's a lot of different religions. Alhamdulillah, we're Muslim, we follow Islam, or we try our best to. But there's all these other religions out there. And I meet people of different religions, and they seem like they're good people too. Right? They're kind, they're warm, they're loving, they share, they're generous, they help the needy, right? They do things that we try to do as well. So some people ask, okay, so what's the point of being a Muslim then? Like, do I need to follow Islam? Do I need Islam to be a good person? If there's other people who are, maybe they don't have any religion at all, they're good people. So what's the point? Why do we have to have a religion like this? It's a very, very big question. But people used to ask this to the Imams as well too. So one person asked Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam to describe some of the qualities of Islam to him. It's a very long hadith, just a few points that we wanted to share about this topic. So Imam starts to describe the reason that Allah has sent down Islam, the qualities, the characteristics of Islam. Then he mentions two things. He says that one is that Islam is like a libas, a piece of clothing, liman tadabbur, for a person who does tadabbur, who thinks, who reflects, and he contemplates. And he said also that it's a fahman liman tafattan. It's a way of understanding the world. It's a puzzle piece. It's a clue for those who are looking for deeper answers. So Imam is giving us two things to help us out with. Now, is it possible to be a good person without Islam? What do you guys think? Are there people who don't believe in Allah who give charity? Right? Are there people who don't lie? Yes, there are good people from all different backgrounds. But I'll tell you something that one of my teachers had told me when we were studying Islam. He said, look, Islam and all these things that we're a part of, it's actually not there to make us good. Somebody can be an atheist meaning they don't even believe in God, but they can do good things too, right? They can donate to charities. They can be kind. They don't lie. They can be good. He said, but Islam wasn't sent down and gifted to us so that we can become good. Islam was sent down so that we can become great, that we can become better, that we can even become perfect. Yeah, it's possible that we can reveal and come to the perfect version of ourselves. That's one of the things that Imam Ali is trying to get across. He says Islam is like clothing for somebody who reflects and thinks about their actions. How does that make sense? Well, the idea of clothing is it offers protection at least, right? It shows people what you believe in, what kind of style you have, different things. So Islam, for a person who thinks and reflects, it becomes a protection for them. There's a lot of people out there, they might do something that they think is good. Like, I thought about this, I think it's a good idea. But then they end up actually suffering because of it. There's a lot of people right now in the world, in our country, who are suffering because sometimes they make decisions. They eat things that they're not supposed to. They drink things that they're not supposed to, right? They say things they're not supposed to. They do behaviors they're not supposed to, but they think it's good for them. And they think, I thought through it and I think I'll be okay. But then they suffer so much inside. But alhamdulillah, Islam helps us say, look, these are the consequences if you get involved with certain types of actions. If you say this, if you think like this, if you treat people like this is what could happen to you. So for somebody who actually thinks and wants to think through their actions, Islam can actually offer them a protection. The other part the Imam is saying is what? Is that it's a fahm. It's a way of understanding. Now, for us, I'm sure many of you are very curious about things, right? I get asked all these kind of curiosity questions all the time. Why, are there any other galaxies out there? Are there aliens out there? Somebody asked today, right, that who was the first human that wasn't a prophet or wasn't like an imam or something? Who was like the first person? Like, so all these kind of questions, like, what about this? What about this? So these are cool questions, and a lot of us think about these things. So others, They can be good people, and they can research, they can try to read history books, they can try to look at scientific studies, and they can try to understand the world. But will they ever have that higher level understanding that you and I have access to? No. There are certain things that other people will believe, even though they want the truth, because they don't have the Quran and they don't have the Ahlul Bayt, so they won't have access to it. So Imam is showing us that there's two qualities that if we have them, Islam makes sense for you and I. If I'm a person who likes to think through and do the best thing possible, Islam makes sense for me. That I'm trying to improve constantly. I want to do the best thing in every scenario, right? Be better at everything, then okay, Islam will help me out with that. Even in the typical things in life, right? Even day-to-day activities. And if I'm trying to understand the world too, if I'm a thinker, if I want to be an intelligent person, I want to understand all the little facets, right? And get the third or fourth trivia questions right every single time on the weekly quizzes, right? Those kind of things that we want to understand the world, some things science will never ever tell us. They'll never figure it out. They can only guess. Sometimes there's things that are never in any history books. But Islam, because Allah sent down prophets, gave them revelation, ideas that nobody else had access to, we have access to information that nobody else does. So sometimes the reason why maybe we don't feel like Islam is for us, maybe, is because maybe I'm not trying to get better. I don't want to improve my life. And I don't think about the world. I don't really care if I know what is right, what is wrong, and what is good, what is bad. So for a person like that, yeah, maybe Islam doesn't make sense for them. But for those of us who are here, who are trying to do better all the time, who want to get better and better to become perfect even, who want to try to understand everything about this reality, then Islam is both a protection for us because we think about it and we plan for it, and it becomes that puzzle piece that we're looking for to help us put everything in perspective. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I try to do better in my life, right? I want to get smarter. I want to learn something. I want to memorize this. I want to do better. I want to be a better Muslim. I want to have concentration when I'm praying, maybe. I want to be kinder to my parents or my siblings or grandparents or community members. Okay, I'm trying, but it seems like there's a block. Every time I put in effort, something's blocking me. So in one hadith, which inshallah we'll talk about in the next session, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam talks about 3 types of blocks that sometimes get in our way when we're trying to become true, perfect, successful human beings. So we'll talk about that in the next session. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ahli baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.